everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about my financial goals for the year 2023. So we're going to be talking income, we're going to be talking about events that are definitely happening this year, and then as well as some events that we really hope to happen this year. We're going to be talking about how much I really want to achieve from my social media and some extra income sources as well. Guys, I would really love to know what some of your financial goals are. What do you really want to achieve this year? Or what would you like to start giving a go? Is it getting down a budget? Is it looking at your transactions just to see what you are spending your money on? Is it to save like 20 bucks a week consistently throughout the year? No matter how small your goal is, it's always better than having nothing at all. Let's start off with the events that are definitely going ahead in the year 2023, and that is Bali. So I'm going for 2 weeks and Lewis is going for 1 month. The things that we need to take into consideration are flights, accommodation, and some spending money. So the great thing is that flights we've already paid for. We booked them. We're going in April of this year, which is really exciting. We did have a voucher from Jetstar from when we previously booked last year. We booked early in April last year, but Lewis got COVID, so we ended up not being able to go at that particular time. And we got a voucher for around $2,000 for those flights. So we used that money and put towards, I think it was Tassie flights from last year, and then as well as the Bali flights from this year. So flights paid for. Accommodation, I have booked 3 nights in Cedarman and 3 nights in Ahmed. Lewis's mum is actually moving over to Bali, and she has so generously offered up her villa to us that we can stay the night with her. So that is going to be for 3 nights, and then we're heading to Nusa Penida for 2 nights, and then we're staying at Lewis's mum's villa in Perinanen that she is leasing out, or like that she owns and puts on Airbnb for a small fee. So that's really generous of her. So the amount of money that I have put towards accommodation, and that it's going to be like split between us obviously, is $750. So that's just for my portion of the accommodation. That is for Cedarman, Ahmed, and then as well as the Perinanen villa. Next is spending money. So last time when we went to Bali, we went crazy with spending money. I don't even know how much we ended up spending in like total, but for this trip I'm limiting myself to $500. I think we went crazy with like the cocktails and the dinners and the lunches and the like going out all the time, when it really doesn't have to be like that, especially because I'm not working full-time again this year. My income is going to fluctuate so much. So I've allotted $500 for spending money for Bali. Now the next event that is a potential, that is, you know, not definitely going ahead, but that we would like to do, is Europe for 6 weeks. So the things that we need to pay for are flights, accommodation, splurge, and transport. So for flights, I have estimated around $2,000 each. And also, I haven't been to Europe in like 8 years now, so I'm not sure if this is going to be realistic. If you have been to Europe recently, please leave me a comment down below of how much it cost you, because I'm just basing this off what I spent last time plus a couple of extra $100 to take into consideration inflation. So flights, I have put an absolute maximum at $2,000. I'm pretty sure last time I went to Europe it was around $1,500 or even $1,300 flights, but I know that to get over to Europe is very expensive these days, and it also obviously depends on the airport that you are flying into. So most likely we would fly into London or Paris, because I think from memory they are the more affordable airports to fly into from Australia. Accommodation is around $3,000. I think in Europe, you know, hostels are really good. They're clean, and especially if you get a private room, they're actually quite large. And especially because I will be splitting the cost with Lewis, I feel like hostels will be a more affordable option. And then when we want to like splurge and maybe go to Greece or down on the Amalfi Coast in Italy, we might splurge a little bit more. But for countries like London, Germany, Austria, maybe in like some parts of France, hostels will do us fine. So I've allotted $3,000 for accommodation. Next is spending money. So I mean, Europe, we're going for 6 weeks, and Europe is expensive. and we want to do a lot of activities that we potentially may not get to do again in our lifetime. So I've allotted around $3,000 for spending money. That is for like winery tours in Tuscany, that's for, I don't know, like snorkeling in Greece, lots of different things that we potentially won't get to do again, but that we really want to do on this trip, especially because it'll be the first time that Lewis and I go to Europe together, so it is going to be really special. Transport. Now, I went on Bus About when I did like my big Europe tour back in 2015, and I really loved Bus About, but it just took forever. Like to get from, I think it was Nice to Paris was like 10-hour bus trip, which is fine because it's an affordable option, but that just means that's 10 hours out of the day that you don't get to go and explore and see different countries. So we'll most likely be looking at flights and trains to get from country to country. Again, I haven't done this before, so I'm not sure if $1,000 is a realistic amount. It's possibly not, especially if we're going like from London to Paris to Amsterdam to Berlin. I'm sure I'm not going in order, but yeah, I'm just not exactly sure how much transport is going to cost. Again, if you've been recently and you've taken trains and flights, please let me know because I'm not sure. So that's a really exciting potential part of 2023 that's going to be happening. Again, it's not going to be until the end of the year, so around September, October. So at the end of their summer, the start of their autumn season, just so then we can get a little bit of the hot weather, but then the countries that are a bit more cozy and that you want to see in cooler weather, we want to go then. Now, this next one is we're almost like 95 to 99% sure is going to happen, but that is making a potential Airbnb on our property. So we have a studio at the back of our house that currently is empty. It's not being used for anything, and it is actually quite large. So what we are thinking of doing with this Airbnb, if everything goes to plan and if everything goes really well, is making that studio into an Airbnb. So we would be looking at doing a bathroom, which is really expensive, and we have allotted around $35,000 for everything. So that is for bathroom, paint, furniture, decor, and a professional photographer, because the Airbnbs that do really well are the ones that have had a professional photographer come in and do them properly, rather than just, you know, from an iPhone. We really want to set a experience for our customers or for our guests and make them really want to envision themselves staying in our studio. And we also need to take into consideration like alarm systems and outdoor furniture, all of that sort of stuff with an Airbnb, and all of the little things. Like we have stayed in so many that we feel like we know what our guests would like. It's just about being able to spend the money to do it. So that's about $35,000 that we would put into that Airbnb. And with that as well, the financial goal to go with this one is that it earns at least $1,500 per month to help offset the mortgage. So our mortgage is actually quite high at the moment. It's way more than what we were paying at our last place. But what we hope to do with this Airbnb is to bring the mortgage down to what our previous one was. So we were paying around $3,000 a month at our previous home, whereas this one is about it's just gonna go just over $5,000 per month for this home. So we really hope that this Airbnb can help offset the mortgage a little bit and to take the stress off both Lewis and I. So those are the events that are happening or potentially happening in 2023. So excited. Let's move on to my actual goals. So the first one is savings. Now I don't actually I've come up with a figure, but I'm not really stuck on my savings goal this year, purely because we have so many events coming up that's what I'm saving for. I'm saving for Bali, I'm saving for Europe, I'm saving for the Airbnb, not necessarily just a nest egg on the side. If I can do that, great. I've said $2,000, but in saying that, that potentially won't happen, and that's okay. In terms of work, I am still doing casual relief teaching, which means that I'm not guaranteed an income. I can only work when someone is either sick or when they're away or they don't need to be in the classroom. So for work this year, and I'll put up my little maths, like how I've calculated it, but I've estimated to earn around $1,600 per fortnight. And because there is around 32 weeks of the work year for me, that comes to around $51,200 before tax. So there are 40 weeks in a school year, but I don't work every day of every week. That's just not realistic. So I've kind of taken out the holidays for Bali and for Europe, and then as well as like the first week of term, and then the last week or like a couple of weeks throughout the year. So 1,600 times 32 gives me $51,200, and that's all before tax. So that is my teaching income, so my work income. And then for tutoring, which I do on the side as just an extra bit of a side hustle, I'm really hoping to do that again this year. I really actually want to do this online rather than going in to a place and tutoring, because it's on a Saturday, and that basically that day I don't get to do anything because I'm really tired after. So hopefully I can get an online, like a Thursday night gig doing that. And that is $130 per week. And I've times that by 30 because they don't have them every single week throughout the year. So $130 times 30 weeks equals $4,050, which sounds amazing. That's my extra income that I put towards holidays, that I put towards savings. That's stuff that I don't get from teaching. So if I add my teaching income and my tutoring income, that gives me the potential earning of $55,250 for the year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but you know, it was my choice to do casual relief teaching. I needed a break from full time. If I was working full time, it would be around the $80,000, I think, this year before tax. So I don't know, we'll see how we go. I might have to go back next year. I don't know, inflation and stuff is just getting ridiculously expensive. But yeah, that is my potential earning, or that is what I hope to earn this year. Anything more than that, I will be so ecstatic. So next is my social media. So looking at my YouTube earnings, AdSense, I put around $3,600 for the year. I think that comes out to around $250 to $300 per month. Obviously that comes down a lot on me. So my consistency, my quality of videos, how much I interact with you guys, but any like, comment, subscribe, anything like that, even you watching my ads really does help me out. It helps out small YouTubers so much, because then the algorithm knows to push out the videos to other people, so then they can get more view time and views. And you know, obviously I don't do YouTube just to earn the money. I really do enjoy sharing my life, my goals, my thoughts, experiences, all that with you as well. It's just an extra thing that you can get paid to do this kind of stuff with YouTube. In terms of collaborations or sponsorships, I put for the year around $4,800. I obviously want to increase that, because increasing that is increasing my income. But in saying that though, I only want to work with companies that I obviously only like truly believe in, truly use, or that is of interest to me. So, you know, I've been approached by a lot of companies with like crypto and stuff, and I know nothing about crypto. So I'm not going to accept a sponsorship no matter how much money they're paying me to talk about crypto, because honestly, it would probably be the worst video ever, because I know nothing about it. I am not educated on it. I am not interested in it, first of all. And I think that that really comes across in videos, especially when, you know, social media content creators are doing sponsorships and stuff that they're just not really interested in, and that bores the audience. And anyway, it can just affect a lot of stuff. So I'm really going to be selective, but again, hopeful that companies will want to work with me and will want to do paid sponsorships rather than just gifting for free, because gifting for free doesn't pay the bills. Like, it doesn't increase my future wealth. And with that earnings from YouTube, so as you guys know, if you've watched any of my previous budget with me, is anything that I earn from social media, whether that be from a collaboration or from AdSense, that money is invested in my future self. So I put that into the stock market. I don't save it or I don't spend it, I invest it, because, you know, that's what this channel was kind of built upon, and that's the promise that I made to you guys a year or two ago when I very first started, that any money that I made from this channel or from doing social media was going to be invested, and that's exactly what I've done. And then the last goal that I really have for myself, and that I was really impressed with the way that I did it this last year, was continuing to build my sinking funds and to do it consistently. Sinking funds, I have found, have truly saved my life for insurance, registration, Christmas, birthdays, clothes, holidays, anything that is an annual expense and that you know is going to come up. Sinking funds is honestly a lifesaver. I don't know how I would have done the last couple of years without starting to do sinking funds. And I only put away a little bit of money every fortnight, and you know, those sinking funds really do build up so quickly. I think I'm full for 2023 for my car insurance, my car registration, and my car servicing, and it's only January. But because I have been consistently putting in the same amount every single fortnight, it slowly builds up, but it builds up to a lot of money. I think at the moment, and for my sinking fund, so that's for every expense that's happening throughout 2023, I have already saved about $5,500, and it's only January. But because I started it a year and a half or 2 years ago, and because I had been so consistent with contributing to my sinking funds, that nest egg has just consistently grown and grown and grown. That is something that I really do hope to achieve and hope that I can achieve throughout 2023. So guys, that is it for today's video. Tell me what you think about my goals in the comments. Do you think they're achievable? Are you looking forward to hearing about any of the ones that I've specifically spoken about? Maybe the Airbnb. I'm really hoping that if we can do it and when we start to do it, that I can put it on here, so then I can show you how much it's going to cost, the process, if it's worth it, I guess. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Click the subscribe button if you are interested. Leave me a comment, and I will see you in a video sometime in the very near future. Happy 2023, guys.